fam, so today's video is going to be my all about online school. I've been getting a lot of questions from not only people on YouTube or on Instagram or on Twitter, but also people I know in real life. So it's kind of definitely something I kind of want to address and talk about a little bit. So yeah. Online school is kind of, I guess, controversial in a sense. I know some people are totally like 100% like no way, never gonna do it. And then some people are like more open-minded to it, and I don't know, it's just one of those things to where it kind of is a little bit controversial, kind of a little bit like weird, I guess, but I don't know, I just figured I'd give you all the information I have on it because I know when I was looking into online school, there was basically like no resources. There were probably like 5 YouTube videos about it, and I just figured why not just add one more just so I can give you guys my spiel on it, because changing like your schooling, like what you're doing, going from a regular public school like 8 hours a day to going to like an online school is definitely a major life change. Like it is 100% different, and I will say that, and I'll be honest with you guys, I personally like it better, but you might not. So this video is going to be split into like 2 parts. The last part is going to be like kind of like a Q&A. I'm going to be like talking about like questions that I get and like Instagram DMs and all that stuff, and then for the first part of the video I'm just going to kind of explain to you what online school is. So basically online school is just school online. I know it kind of sounds weird, but it's school online. I go through K12. There are basically 2 that are really common. There's K12 and Connections Academy. I know Connections Academy is a little bit more strict, so if that's something you need, like you need someone to specifically tell you to do your work and have like specific hours when to do it, then I definitely suggest doing something like that. And if you're someone more like me who would rather have a more flexible schedule to where you can sort of plan your whole day, whether that means like doing school at 6 in the morning or doing school at 6 at night, it really doesn't matter. You can do it whenever. That's how I like it. That's what I want in a school, so that's why I do K-12. But that being said, each state is different. Some states have more strict rules, other states have like no rules. It just really depends. So basically, if you are interested in kind of doing online school your second semester, that's what I did last year for my freshman year. I just told my mom about it. We filled out all the forms, we got my transcript sent over, and we had like an exit interview with the school where they just kind of were like, okay, like you're signing this paper saying that you are unenrolling from this school and enrolling into a different school. So yeah, you'll have to probably do something along those lines. It's really not a big deal. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to change anything. The online school I go through is 100% accredited. That means that I will be able to get into college. It is like high school credits. It's really not a big deal. That being said though, if you're homeschooled, it's really not that hard to get into a college. I mean, you might have to like jump over a little bit of hoops, but it's really not going to be a big deal. It just matters what you score on the SATs or ACTs. That's kind of mostly what it really matters about, but I don't know, don't worry too much about that. Sorry if the angle changed a little bit. My camera just got full of memory, so I had to quickly change that. But basically what I was just saying is don't worry too much about like getting into college. Obviously that is not what I mean, but definitely focus on your future and focus on doing something along those lines of college. I personally want to go to college. I know some people don't. It's like definitely in my plans, but don't worry about like not getting accepted because you do online school. It's really not a big deal. One of the best things about online school is that I'm able to do what I want during the day and not what I want during the day, and seriously, I really can plan what I'm doing exactly every single moment of the day. So say I'm really busy one day, I have a lot to do, I have like maybe like an errand to run in the morning and then I work at night, something along those lines, I may not have time for school that day, and that could be unfortunate and that could kind of suck, but you know, that'll just double up the next day. It's really not a big deal. It doesn't take too long, and I really do enjoy it a lot. I'm currently enrolled in, I believe, 6 classes. I think that's pretty common. I don't think that courses are easier online. I don't think actually I would say they're a little bit harder, only because you don't have a physical teacher. It can kind of be a little bit challenging, especially for things like math or Spanish. I am currently in Spanish and I do find it pretty hard doing it online. It's like I could just be really bad at Spanish, but I do definitely find like the pronunciation of the words kind of a little bit challenging to learn. There are live lessons that I'm able to attend, so that 100% helps, but keep in mind that those do take some time. It takes like an hour for like a live lesson, so it can be pretty time consuming, and I might not be always able to like, you know, make it to it, but it's really not a big deal if you can't, because they'll usually have like a recording list that you can just click on, and you can also just email them and be like, hey, I missed the Class Connect, like, what should I do? And they'll let you know. I'm gonna kind of just move on to the Q&A part because I don't really know what else to say about it, other than I really do enjoy it so far. And yeah, but let's just get started with the Q&A. A really common question that I get is, how long does it take? And this really does depend on you. It depends on everything you do, kind of thing. There are some days where it takes me like 4 or 5 hours. There are other days when it literally takes me 2. There are some days where I'm literally sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's no way I'm gonna get this done in like only like 5 hours. Because sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, and there are some days where it's harder than others because a lot of my tests do fall on the same days. That being said though, the really nice thing is I know that like a lot of teachers at like a regular public school, if you have a test you usually don't have work after that. That would be really mean to do. But then you usually just sit at your desk. The nice thing is when you take a test online, you just move to your next test kind of thing. It's really not a big deal. You can work ahead, you can fall behind as well, which is definitely something you really have to keep up with yourself and keep up with what you're doing. Definitely have a planner for sure. I do not know how people survive without a planner. You need that. It is really important just to keep track of what you have to do. To-do lists are great. Just definitely plan out because someone else isn't doing it for you, and you really just need to make sure that you know exactly what's going on. I'm going to touch on the part saying that you can get ahead. This is kind of, you can kind of get ahead. You probably can go like 2, 3, 4 weeks ahead before you kind of like have a teacher email you and being like, hey, like, can you slow down a little bit? I have to grade all these papers or whatever. That being said, they have usually like probably like 60 students, I'd say. And, you know, they're not going to necessarily notice if you are super far ahead. You can't get like a year ahead. You can't, that's not how it works. I wish it did. I wish you could do like an accelerated type of thing to where you double up on classes one semester, so it'd be equivalent to 2 semesters, and then you're able to like graduate at the end of your sophomore year kind of thing. I think that'd be really cool, but honestly you can't do that. I wish you could. I know you can during the private one. If you do that, it's like $2,000, and I don't really see the point in paying for that. Next thing is though, online school is totally free, other than you do have to pay like textbook rentals like regular public school. But the textbook rentals are significantly cheaper because a lot of my books are online, which is really nice. I like doing that. But you can request like a physical copy if you need it. If you find it really hard to look at the textbook online, I think that a physical copy might definitely help you. You can also download them on like for example, I have some on my iPad. It's really nice because I can just like scroll through stuff, and it's really easy to kind of just sit there and like take notes. I also get the question of, do you have homework? How do you do homework? What's that like? You don't really have homework. It's so different because it's not like you have homework because you're already at home. You know, it's just classwork. So anything that'd be assigned as homework, it would just be classroom work. You would just get it right done in there. You know, it's really not like that. A lot of the homework, if you call it that, is optional. Some of it is not. Some of it is for grade. Some of it is not for grade, but it's also not optional. You have to turn it in, and it's kind of like, I don't know, like a participation grade. Some homework is hard, some homework's easy. It really does depend on your teacher. The next question I get is, how many hours do you have to attend a day? Like I said earlier, you probably only have to do what you feel like you need to do. If you're someone who learns really quickly, you probably only need to do 2 hours a day. If you're someone who learns pretty slowly, you may need to do like 6 hours a day. It really does depend on you, and it depends on your motivation level for sure. And the last question that I have is, do you ever regret doing online school / will you ever come back to a public school that's like a regular type of high school? And my answer is, right now I'm really content with doing online school. I like it. I think it makes sense for my life at the moment. That being said, next year I may totally change my mind and go back to my old school, or I may continue just doing online school. you know, I do know I will miss out on some things for sure. I'll miss out on like prom and like maybe like a graduation ceremony. There is one, it's just there's a difference between graduating with a bunch of strangers that you've only ever encountered in an online classroom and people you've gone to school with your whole life. It is different. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. But honestly, at the end of the day, I think that it's kind of both ways. You can miss out one way or the other. That's it. I'm sure I did miss some things, so comment down below any questions you have. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. And do not forget to subscribe because I'm doing VLOGMAS, which means a new video every single day of December. So yeah, I'll link them all down below what I've done so far. Hope you guys stick around. Bye!